Wow. What a first half. What a first half, Tennessee and Alabama. Tards 28, Gumps 20 at halftime. First half just in and talking to Nick Saban here. Tennessee with the Hail Mary into the end zone at the end of the first half falls incomplete. And Tennessee takes an 8-point lead into halftime over Alabama at home. At home, Tennessee, 28-20. If there is anything that could go wrong for Alabama and anything that could go right for Tennessee, that's exactly what happened in the first quarter of this game. Tennessee was red hot, on fire, scored on 3 straight possessions in the first quarter. Everything they did on offense worked, and everything Bama did was a disaster. They couldn't protect Bryce Young. Their field position was horrible. They were getting the ball backed up inside their own 10. Tennessee was getting the ball at midfield. Multiple penalties. At one point, Alabama offensively committed a penalty on 3 straight plays. Then you have the punt. Tennessee scored 3 straight times. Alabama finally forces a punt. Tennessee punts it. Turnover on the punt. What that guy for Alabama was thinking when he tried to grab that punt, I don't know. I don't think he was thinking. That's the problem. You give Tennessee the ball back, I gotta score again. If it could go wrong for Bama, it went wrong in the first quarter and 5 minutes of the second quarter. And Tennessee, like I said, could do no wrong. And here we are at halftime, and it's a one-possession game. I'll say this to the Tennessee man, and y'all already know this, the Tennessee fans, y'all know this. And in the locker room right now, Josh Heupel is telling the Tennessee team this. You have to beat Alabama for 4 quarters. They are not going to go away. I don't care what happened in that first quarter. I don't care what happens in the third quarter. You're going to have to beat them for 4 quarters if you want to win this game. And we'll see if Tennessee can do it. Hendon Hooker is playing great. I think Bryce Young has played well, too. The shoulder deal, we didn't know if he was going to get to play or not. He's out there. So far, so good. For both offenses. Tennessee's defense, I think, has played pretty well. They've done a pretty good job, for the most part, of bottling up Jahmyr Gibbs on some of those runs. I don't think he has a run longer than 8 or 9 yards. And that's pretty good, because Jahmyr Gibbs can hit a home run at any moment. Anytime that guy touches the ball, he can be gone 60, 70, 80, 90 yards, touchdown. So this is going to be a hell of a second half. 2 top 10 teams. This looks like a matchup of 2 top 10 teams. We had the Michigan-Penn State game earlier. That one turned into a blowout in the second half in Michigan's favor. We'll see what happens in the second half of this one. If I'm Alabama, I feel like I got to score every time I get the ball. I really do. That Tennessee offense is lighting up the Bama defense. Is Will Anderson playing in this game? Best player in college football. I think he's got 1 tackle, nothing else, no sacks, no nothing. I don't know what Will Anderson. Will Anderson is too much hype, too much legend, not enough reality. He's all hat, no cattle. I don't know. I've been unimpressed with Will Anderson this year. Dallas Turner, I think, is playing better than Will Anderson. Henry Toto, I think, is playing better than Will Anderson. I'm a little sick of hearing about how Will Anderson is the best player in college football. The best player in college football shows up in the biggest games, and Will Anderson, hell, halftime he's on the sideline. He's not even in the game half the time. Just stop with that. Just stop with that. Hendon Hooker is Tennessee's leading rusher. That's a little concerning. I feel like both teams have ran the ball okay, but Tennessee's had some good runs, but I don't know. Hendon Hooker leading rusher, I don't know if that ends up being the case, if that's a good or a bad thing for Tennessee in this game, but it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. Oak State up on TCU. That was another matchup of undefeated teams that's on right now. Oak State 24, TCU 13. Syracuse up on NC State. Speaking of undefeated teams, Syracuse 10, NC State 6. Arkansas is beating BYU by 10 right now. There's some great games going on. Georgia up 28-0 over Vandy. Second half just underway in that one. It was 28-0 at halftime. Dogs are driving again now in Vandy territory. Shout out to Stetson Bennett. I've been hard on Stetson Bennett for 3 weeks in a row. Why? Well, because he's played like shit 3 weeks in a row. I don't know if you can play any better in a half of football than Stetson Bennett played in that first half. He was 18 of 20. That's a 90% completion rate. 18 of 20 for 215 yards and 2 touchdowns. I don't think you can play any better than that. And he goes, oh, it's Vandy. Yeah, I know. But he played like shit against Mizzou and Kent State. So, I know it's Vandy, but God, Georgia's gotten off to such slow starts over the last couple of weeks that even though it's Vandy, as a Georgia fan, this is kind of what we've been waiting to see. And now here we go. Ladd McConkey hurt, injured. Looks like he's in some serious pain on the sideline. We'll see what's going on with that. But of course, if you're a wide receiver at Georgia, once you get injured, that's it. Your career is over. You never really get to play any meaningful time again. Dominic Blaylock was our best receiver in 2019. He's been, coming back any day now since 2019. He did have a touchdown pass today, but the point is he hardly ever gets on the field. Once you get hurt at Georgia, you immediately come like the 8th option at wide receiver after that. So we'll see what's going on with Ladd McConkey, but he's limping off the field now. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. Georgia's off next week. Then they play Florida. Florida and LSU play tonight. I think Florida probably beats them, though, at home. It's a home game for Florida at night. What about Clemson and Florida State? Florida State beating Clemson is starting to pick up some steam. Yeah. Upset alert? Could the Tater Man be on upset alert? Clemson losing to Florida State is starting to pick up some steam. All right, I'm going to get back to the second half. Alabama and Tennessee. It's lived up to the hype so far. Let's hope we continue with a great second half. Of course, I'll be back all through the rest of the afternoon and evening tonight, updating you on all the goings-on in the wonderful world of college football. You can always count on Uncle Lou.